My name is Helen Parker, and I'm about to make the biggest mistake of my life. Or so my husband thinks. Are you sure about this, Helen? Quitting your job is a big deal. Brad's voice cuts through the early morning quiet of our kitchen, heavy with skepticism. I pause, my hand hovering over the resignation letter I've spent weeks agonizing over. The weight of the decision presses down on me, but I steel myself. It's time for a change, Brad. The job isn't fulfilling anymore. He sighs, shaking his head. I just don't understand why you'd throw away a stable career for some farming pipe dream. I bite back a retort. He's never understood my connection to my roots, to the land that raised me. It's not a pipe dream. It's an opportunity to make a real difference. In what? Cow-tipping technology. Brad snorts, his words dripping with disdain. I feel my jaw clench. Agricultural innovation, Brad. My parents' farm dash. Here we go again with the farm, he interrupts, rolling his eyes. You left that life behind for a reason, Helen. Why go backwards? It's not going backwards, I insist, my voice rising. It's about combining my skills with something I'm passionate about. Brad stands, his coffee mug hitting the counter with a sharp clink. Whatever. Do what you want. Just don't come crying to me when it all falls apart. As he storms out of the kitchen, I let out a shaky breath. This isn't how I imagined starting my day, but it's par for the course lately. Brad's been increasingly distant, critical. Something's off, but I can't put my finger on it. I gather my things, preparing to head to the office one last time. As I reach for Brad's jacket to hang it up, a folded piece of paper flutters to the floor. Curious, I pick it up. My heart stops as I unfold it. It's a letter, intimate and filled with longing, addressed to my husband. From someone named Sarah. The world tilts on its axis as I read, my vision blurring with unshed tears. Words like soulmate and our secret jump out at me, each one a dagger to my heart. I hear footsteps and quickly shove the letter into my pocket. Brad reappears, looking annoyed. Have you seen my blue tie? I swallow hard, forcing my voice to remain steady. Check the laundry room. He nods curtly and leaves. I lean against the counter, my mind reeling. How long has this been going on? How could I have been so blind? The sound of our daughter, Mia, bounding down the stairs pulls me from my spiraling thoughts. Morning, Mom, she chirps, her backpack slung over one shoulder. Ready for your big day? I plaster on a smile, determined not to let my world-shattering discovery show. As ready as I'll ever be, sweetie. Mia grabs an apple from the fruit bowl, studying me with her perceptive gaze. Are you okay? You look weird. Just nervous. I lie, hating the ease with which the deception comes. Big changes, you know? She nods, unconvinced. Dad's being a jerk about it, isn't he? I sigh. Your father. He just doesn't understand. But this is important to me, Mia. To our family. I get it, Mom, she says, her eyes shining with admiration. I think it's awesome what you're doing. Grandma and Grandpa's farm needs help, and you're gonna make it happen. Her words bolster me, reminding me why I'm doing this. Despite Brad's affair, my stomach clenches at the thought I have a purpose. A mission. Thanks, sweetheart. I manage, pulling her into a quick hug. I needed to hear that. As Mia heads out to catch her bus, I take a deep breath. The letter in my pocket feels like it's burning a hole through my clothes, but I push the hurt and betrayal aside. I have a resignation to deliver, a new chapter to begin. And as for Brad and his Sarah, well, revenge is a dish best served cold. And I'm just getting started. The familiar scent of hay and earth envelopes me as Mia and I step out of the car onto my parents' farm. It's a balm to my frayed nerves after the tumultuous week since discovering Brad's betrayal. Grandma, Grandpa, Mia calls out, racing towards the weathered farmhouse. I can't help but smile at her enthusiasm, so different from her usual teenage aloofness. My parents emerge, their faces lighting up at the sight of us. Helen, sweetheart, Mom says, pulling me into a warm embrace. We've missed you. Dad claps a hand on my shoulder. How's that big city job treating you? I hesitate, unsure how to broach the subject of my resignation. Actually, Dad, I dash. My phone buzzes insistently, cutting me off. Brad's name flashes on the screen. I silence it, forcing a smile. Let's talk inside, shall we? As we settle in the cozy kitchen, the stark contrast between the warmth here and the tension at home hits me like a physical blow. Mom busies herself making coffee while Mia regales Dad with tales of her latest school project. So, what's new? Mom asks, setting steaming mugs before us. I take a deep breath. I've quit my job. The silence that follows is deafening. Then, to my surprise, Dad chuckles. About time, he says. That place never appreciated you properly. John. Mom chides gently, but I can see the pride in her eyes. What are you planning to do now, dear? I launch into an explanation of my agricultural IT project, my words tumbling out in a rush. As I speak, I feel a weight lifting from my shoulders. Here, surrounded by the people who know me best, my dreams don't seem so far-fetched. That's brilliant, Helen, Mom says when I finish. Your father and I have been struggling to keep up with all the new farming technologies. Something like this could make a real difference. Dad nods in agreement. You always did have a knack for problem solving. Remember when you rigged up that automated watering system for the greenhouse? Mia's eyes widen. You did that, Mom? That's so cool. I feel a flush of pride at my daughter's admiration. It's a stark contrast to Brad's dismissive attitude. As if on cue, my phone buzzes again. This time, it's a text. Where are you? We need to talk. I ignore it, focusing instead on Mia's excited chatter about helping her grandparents for the weekend. But the messages keep coming, each one more demanding than the last. Everything okay? Mom asks, noticing my distraction. I force a smile. Just work stuff. Nothing important. But as the day wears on, Brad's texts become increasingly aggressive. By evening, I'm struggling to maintain my composure. Helen, Dad's voice breaks through my thoughts. We're sitting on the porch, watching the sun set over the fields. What's really going on? I hesitate, then the whole story comes pouring out. The letter, Brad's affair, his belittling of my dreams. To my surprise, I find myself choking back tears. Dad listens silently, his weathered face creased with concern. When I finish, he takes my hand in his calloused one. You listen to me, Helen. You're stronger than you know. Don't let anyone, not even your husband, make you doubt yourself. Your father's right, Mom adds, joining us. We raised you to stand up for what you believe in. If this project is what you want, then you go after it with everything you've got. Their unwavering support fills me with a renewed sense of purpose. I look out over the farm, imagining the possibilities my project could bring. Just then, Mia bursts onto the porch, her face flushed with excitement.
Mom.
Grandpa says I can help milk the cows tomorrow morning.
Can I?
Please? I laugh, truly laugh, for the first time in days. Of course, sweetie. We'll do it together. As night falls and we head inside, I feel a sense of peace settle over me. Whatever challenges lie ahead, with Brad, with my project, I know I have the strength to face them. Here, on this farm, surrounded by the love of my family, I've rediscovered my roots. And from these roots, I'll grow stronger than ever. The sleek glass and steel of the company headquarters feels a world away from the comforting warmth of my parents' farm. I straighten my jacket, clutching my presentation materials close as I stride towards the boardroom. Today's the day I pitch my agricultural IT project, and my stomach is a knot of nerves and determination. As I push open the heavy doors, the chatter inside dies down. A sea of expectant faces turns towards me, some curious, others skeptical. I spot my boss, Steve Carmichael, at the head of the table, his expression unreadable. Mrs. Parker, he nods, gesturing for me to begin. The floor is yours. I take a deep breath, channeling the strength I found on the farm. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm here to present a revolutionary approach to modernizing our agricultural sector. As I launch into my presentation, I can feel the energy in the room shift. Eyes that were initially glazed with boredom begin to spark with interest. I outline my vision for integrating cutting-edge IT solutions with traditional farming practices, explaining how it could revitalize struggling family farms like my parents. Imagine a system that could predict crop yields with unprecedented accuracy, I say, my voice growing more confident. Or drones that could monitor vast fields for signs of disease or pest infestation before they become catastrophic. I see a few board members lean forward, intrigued, but others still look doubtful. This all sounds very ambitious. One executive interrupts. But is there really a market for this? Most farmers I know can barely operate a smartphone, let alone advanced AI systems. I've anticipated this question. That's precisely why our solution needs to be intuitive and user-friendly, I counter. We're not just selling technology, we're offering a lifeline to an industry that's the backbone of our country. The discussion that follows is heated. Questions fly at me from all directions, but I stand my ground, drawing on years of experience both in IT and on the farm. As the debate winds down, I can sense the tide turning in my favor. Finally, Steve clears his throat. Well, Mrs. Parker, you've certainly given us a lot to think about. The board will need time to deliberate, but I think I speak for everyone when I say your proposal has merit. We'll be in touch with our decision soon. As I gather my things, a mix of relief and anticipation washes over me. I've done all I can. Now it's out of my hands. Stepping out of the building, I check my phone. 3 missed calls from Brad. I sigh, my momentary high deflating. Reluctantly, I call him back. Where have you been? His voice is sharp, accusatory. I've been trying to reach you all morning. I had an important meeting, Brad. I told you about it last week. Oh, right, your little farming project, he scoffs. How'd that go? Did they laugh you out of the room? His words sting, but I refuse to let him dampen my spirits. Actually, it went very well. The board seemed impressed. There's a pause on the other end. When Brad speaks again, his tone has shifted to something almost saccharine. That's great, honey. Really? Listen, why don't we go out to dinner tonight to celebrate? Just the two of us. I hesitate, torn between suspicion and a desperate hope that maybe, just maybe, he's genuinely trying to be supportive. I'll think about it. I need to pick up Mia from her study group first. Fine, he says, the edge creeping back into his voice. Just don't be too late. As I hang up, a text comes through from an unknown number. My blood runs cold as I read it. He doesn't deserve you. You deserve so much better. S. Sarah. It has to be. How did she get my number? Does Brad know she's contacting me? I lean against my car, suddenly feeling dizzy. Just when I thought I was making progress, gaining control over my life, this happens. But as the initial shock fades, I feel a new resolve hardening within me. I won't let Brad or his Sarah derail me. Not when I'm so close to achieving something meaningful. Whatever game they're playing, I refuse to be a pawn in it. With renewed determination, I start the car. I have a daughter to pick up, a future to plan, and a marriage to reevaluate. The road ahead may be rocky, but for the first time in years, I feel equipped to navigate it. The clock on the nightstand blinks 11:43 p.m. as I slip into the house, exhausted but exhilarated. The board's tentative approval of my project still buzzes in my veins, a small victory that feels monumental after years of stagnation. You're late. Brad's voice, cold and accusatory, cuts through the darkness. I flick on the light, revealing him slouched in his armchair, an empty glass dangling from his fingers. I told you I had a late meeting, Brad. It went well, by the way. He snorts, a sound of pure derision. Oh yes, your little farming project. Tell me, Helen, when did you become such an expert on agriculture? Last I checked, you were just a mid-level IT manager. His words sting, but I refuse to let him see how much. I grew up on a farm, Brad. Or have you forgotten that too? How could I, he sneers, rising unsteadily to his feet. It's all you ever talk about lately. Helen the farm girl, here to save the day with her magical computers. I take a deep breath, trying to keep my voice level. This isn't just about my parents' farm. It's about revolutionizing an entire industry. The board sees the potential dash. The board, Brad interrupts, his voice dripping with sarcasm. I'm sure they were just falling over themselves to throw money at your little pet project. Actually, they were quite impressed, I counter, feeling my patience wearing thin. They've agreed to a trial run. For a moment, something flashes in Brad's eyes, surprise, maybe even a flicker of pride. But it's quickly replaced by his usual disdain. Well, don't get too excited. They'll probably pull the plug as soon as they realize how naive this whole idea is. Maybe your naivety comes from growing up on a farm, he adds with a sneer. That's the last straw. Weeks of pent-up frustration and hurt come boiling to the surface. Better that than being blind to your own faults. I snap back, my voice trembling with anger. Brad recoils as if I've slapped him. What's that supposed to mean? For a split second, I consider confronting him about Sarah, about the letter I found. But something holds me back. Instead, I say, it means you're so caught up in your own insecurities that you can't even be happy for your wife's success. Success, he scoffs. You haven't succeeded at anything yet. You're chasing some ridiculous dream instead of focusing on your real job, being a wife and mother. His words hit me like a physical blow. My job? Is that all I am to you? Some 1950s housewife whose opinions don't matter? At least then you knew your place, Brad mutters, but I hear him clearly. The room seems to spin around me as the full weight of his words sinks in. This man, who once supported my dreams, now sees me as nothing more than an accessory to his life. My place, I repeat, my voice eerily calm, is wherever I choose it to be. And right now, that's pursuing a project I believe in, with or without your support. Brad's face contorts with anger. You ungrateful dash, he takes a step towards me, fists clenched at his sides. For the first time in our marriage, I feel a flicker of fear. But I stand my ground, meeting his gaze steadily. Don't, I warn, my voice low. Don't you dare. He stops, confusion and shame warring on his face. Finally, he turns away, stomping towards the bedroom. Do what you want. He spits over his shoulder. But don't come crying to me when it all falls apart. The slam of the bedroom door echoes through the house. I sink onto the couch, my body shaking with adrenaline and suppressed tears. In the silence that follows, I hear a soft footstep on the stairs. Mia stands there, her face pale and worried. Mom, she whispers. Are you okay? I force a smile, patting the seat beside me. As Mia curls up next to me, I realize with startling clarity that this can't go on. For both our sakes, something has to change. And for the first time, I allow myself to consider a future without Brad in it. A month has passed since the board's approval, and I stand in Steve Carmichael's office, my resignation letter in hand. The past weeks have been a whirlwind of preparation, late nights, and clandestine meetings with potential investors. Now, it's time to take the leap. Are you absolutely sure about this, Helen? Steve asks, his brow furrowed with concern. I nod, my resolve unwavering. I am, Steve. This project needs my full attention, and I can't give it that while juggling my responsibilities here. He sighs, then surprises me with a smile. Well, I can't say I'm not disappointed to lose you, but I admire your courage. The board's agreed to a licensing agreement for your agricultural IT system. You'll have our full support. Relief washes over me.
Thank you, Steve.
This means everything. As I leave the office, a weight lifts from my shoulders. For the first time in years, I feel truly in control of my destiny. My elation is short-lived. As I pull into our driveway, I see Brad's car already there. He's home early, and my stomach knots with apprehension. I find him in the kitchen, a tumbler of whiskey in hand despite the early hour. So, he says, his voice dangerously calm, you actually went through with it. I straighten my spine, bracing for the storm. Yes, I did. The company's agreed to license my project. I'm going independent, Brad. His laugh is bitter, cutting. Independent? Is that what you call throwing away a stable career for some pipe dream? It's not a pipe dream, I counter, my voice steady. It's a viable business opportunity, one that could revolutionize farming dash. Oh, spare me the sales pitch, Brad interrupts, slamming his glass down. You're so caught up in this fantasy that you can't see what you're doing to this family. His words ignite a fire in me. What I'm doing to this family? I'm trying to build something meaningful, something that could secure our future and help countless others. Brad's face contorts with rage. Your place is here, Helen, with your husband, your daughter, not gallivanting around playing farmer with your computers. My place, I spit back, is wherever I choose it to be. And right now, that's pursuing my dreams, with or without your support. He advances on me, his eyes blazing. For a moment, I think he might strike me, but he stops short, his fists clenched at his sides. You ungrateful bitch, he hisses. After everything I've done for you, Dash. Everything you've done? I laugh, the sound harsh and unfamiliar. You mean like having an emotional affair with Sarah? Brad freezes, the color draining from his face. How did you, Dash? I found the letter, Brad. I know everything. The silence that follows is deafening. Brad's mouth opens and closes, but no words come out. In that moment, looking at the man I once loved, now reduced to a sputtering, angry shell, something inside me snaps. I want a divorce, I hear myself say, the words ringing with finality. Brad's eyes widen in shock, then narrow with fury. You can't do this to me, he growls. You're nothing without me, Helen. Nothing. But his words no longer have the power to hurt me. I meet his gaze steadily, my voice calm and resolute.
No, Brad.
I'm everything without you. And it's time I started living like it. I turn to leave, but Brad grabs my arm. This isn't over, he snarls. You'll regret this, Helen. I'll make sure of it. I wrench my arm free, my heart pounding but my resolve unshaken. Threaten me all you want, Brad. But remember, I'm not the scared farm girl you married anymore. I'm a woman who knows her worth, and I'm done letting you, or anyone else, make me doubt it. As I walk away, leaving Brad sputtering and raging behind me, I feel a sense of liberation I haven't experienced in years. The road ahead will be challenging, fraught with obstacles both personal and professional. But for the first time in a long time, I'm ready to face those challenges head-on. My new life begins now, and there's no turning back. The house is eerily quiet as I sit in the dimly lit living room, my mind racing with the events of the day. Brad stormed out hours ago, leaving a trail of broken promises and shattered trust in his wake. I've been staring at my phone, debating whether to call my parents or a lawyer, when I hear soft footsteps on the stairs. Mia appears in the doorway, her face pale and drawn in the low light. Mom, she says hesitantly. Are you okay? I heard everything. My heart sinks. I'd hoped to shield her from the worst of it, but of course, she'd been aware. Mia's always been perceptive beyond her years. Oh, sweetheart, I sigh, patting the seat beside me. Come here. She curls up next to me, looking so much younger than her 16 years. For a moment, we sit in silence, the weight of unspoken words hanging between us. Finally, Mia speaks, her voice barely above a whisper. You're going to divorce Dad, aren't you? I take a deep breath, choosing my words carefully. Mia, your father and we've been having problems for a long time. I thought we could work through them, but he's awful to you. Mia interrupts, her voice suddenly firm. Mom, you deserve better. He's terrible. Her bluntness startles me. Are you sure? I ask, my voice wavering. This would mean big changes for all of us. Mia nods, her eyes shining with a mixture of tears and determination. Yes, I'm sure. And I want to live with Grandma and Grandpa. I blink, taken aback by her decisiveness. You've thought about this, haven't you? She nods again. Ever since that weekend at the farm. I saw how happy you were there, Mom. How relaxed. And I realized, I can't remember the last time I saw you like that at home. Her words hit me like a physical blow, bringing tears to my eyes. Oh, Mia, I whisper, pulling her close. I'm so sorry. I never wanted you to feel caught in the middle of this. I'm not caught in the middle, she insists, her voice muffled against my shoulder. I'm on your side, Mom. Always. As I hold my daughter, Feeling her unwavering support, something shifts inside me. The last lingering doubts about my decision to leave Brad dissolve, replaced by a steely resolve. Okay, I say, gently pulling back to look Mia in the eye. If this is what you want, we'll make it happen. But I need you to understand it won't be easy. Your father, he might not take this well. Mia's jaw sets in a determined line that reminds me so much of myself at her age. I don't care. He doesn't get to treat you like this anymore. We deserve better. I feel a surge of pride mixed with a twinge of sadness. My little girl has grown up so fast, forced to confront adult realities far too soon. But her strength gives me courage. You're right, I say, squeezing her hand. We do deserve better. And we're going to build that better life, together. Just then, my phone buzzes with a text. It's from Brad. This isn't over. You'll regret this, Helen. I'll make sure of it. I show the message to Mia, watching her face harden. See, she says. That's not love, Mom. That's control. Her words echo in my mind, crystallizing everything I've been feeling but couldn't quite articulate. You're absolutely right, sweetheart, I say, a newfound strength in my voice. And it ends now. I stand up, suddenly energized despite the late hour. First thing tomorrow, we're calling Grandma and Grandpa. We'll stay with them while we sort things out legally. Mia jumps up, her eyes shining with a mixture of excitement and relief. Really? We're really doing this? I nod, pulling her into a fierce hug. We really are. It won't be easy, but we're strong. We'll get through this together. As I hold my daughter, I feel a sense of peace settling over me. The road ahead will be challenging, fraught with legal battles and emotional turmoil. But for the first time in years, I'm not facing it alone. With Mia by my side and the support of my parents, I know we can weather whatever storms are coming. Tomorrow we start our new life. And Brad? He's about to learn that the women in this family are a force to be reckoned with. The kitchen is bathed in harsh fluorescent light as I stand, arms crossed, waiting for Brad to come home. On the counter lies a folder containing printouts of text messages, photos, and emails, irrefutable evidence of his betrayal. Mia discovered them while using Brad's laptop for a school project, and the weight of her disappointment hangs heavy in the air. The front door slams, and Brad's unsteady footsteps echo through the house. He stumbles into the kitchen, reeking of whiskey and cheap perfume. His eyes narrow when he sees me. What's this, an ambush? He slurs, a sneer twisting his features. I take a deep breath, steeling myself. We need to talk, Brad. About Sarah, about your affair, about everything. He freezes, color draining from his face. I don't know what you're talking about, he stammers, but his eyes dart to the folder on the counter. Don't lie to me, I say, my voice steady despite the rage boiling inside me. Not anymore. I have proof. I open the folder, spreading out the damning evidence. Brad's eyes widen as he sees the intimate text messages, the clandestine photos, the love letters he thought he'd hidden so well. You didn't just betray me, I declare, my voice rising. You disappointed our daughter. Mia found these, Brad. Do you have any idea how much you've hurt her? Brad's face crumples, a mixture of shame and desperation. I'm sorry, he pleads, reaching for me. Helen, please. Let's try to work this out. I'll do anything. I step back, revulsion coursing through me at his touch. There's nothing to work out, Brad. It's over. I want a divorce. His demeanor shifts instantly, anger replacing remorse. A divorce, he snarls. After everything I've done for you? You're nothing without me, Helen. Nothing. No, I counter, my voice steady and strong. I'm everything without you, and it's time I started living like it. Brad lunges forward, his hand raised as if to strike me. But before he can, a voice rings out from the doorway. Don't you dare touch her. We both turn to see Mia standing there, her face a mask of fury and determination. She moves to stand beside me, her hand finding mine. Mia, Brad says, his voice softening. Sweetheart, this is between your mother and me. You don't understand, Dash. I understand perfectly, Mia interrupts, her voice cold. I understand that you're a liar and a cheat. that you've hurt Mom over and over, and I won't let you do it anymore. Brad's face contorts with rage. You ungrateful little dash. That's enough. I shout, stepping in front of Mia protectively. You don't get to speak to her like that. Not ever again. For a moment, the kitchen is silent save for our heavy breathing. Then Brad's shoulders slump, the fight draining out of him. What do you want from me? He asks, his voice hollow. I take a deep breath, squeezing Mia's hand for support. I want you to leave. Tonight. I'll have my lawyer contact you about the divorce proceedings. Brad's eyes dart between Mia and me, searching for any sign of weakness. Finding none, he nods slowly. Fine, he says, his voice barely above a whisper. I'll go. But this isn't over, Helen. You'll regret this. As he turns to leave, Mia's voice stops him.
No, Dad.
You're the one who'll regret this. You've lost us both. The finality in her tone seems to hit Brad harder than any physical blow. He stumbles out of the kitchen without another word, leaving Mia and me standing in the aftermath of the confrontation. As the front door slams shut, I pull Mia into a tight embrace. I'm so proud of you, I whisper, my voice thick with emotion. You were so brave. Mia hugs me back fiercely. We both were, Mom. We both were. As we stand there in our kitchen, the air feels lighter somehow. The road ahead won't be easy, but for the first time in years, I feel truly free. With Mia by my side and the strength I've rediscovered within myself, I know we can face whatever challenges lie ahead. The truth has been exposed, the lies unraveled. And from the ashes of this broken marriage, a new life is ready to bloom. The sun rises over the sprawling fields of my parents' farm, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold. I stand on the porch of my newly built office, a modern structure that stands in stark contrast to the weathered barn nearby. It's been a year since the divorce was finalized, a year of challenges, growth, and unexpected triumphs. My agricultural IT business, born from that initial pitch to my former company, has flourished beyond my wildest dreams. Farmers across the state have embraced our technology, seeing their yields increase and their workloads decrease. But more than the financial success, it's the pride in my parents' eyes that means the most to me. Helen, my father's voice calls from inside. The new irrigation system is up and running. You've got to see this. I smile, following him into the fields. The once struggling farm is now a testament to innovation, with drones buzzing overhead and smart sensors nestled in the soil. My mother joins us, her face beaming with joy. I never thought I'd see the day, she says, squeezing my hand. You've breathed new life into this old place, Helen. As we walk through the thriving crops, I spot Mia in the distance, bent over a tablet as she analyzes data from our latest experiment. She's taken to the business with an enthusiasm that warms my heart, finding her own path in the intersection of technology and agriculture. Mom, she calls out, waving us over. These results are incredible. The new drought-resistant strain is outperforming all our projections. I feel a surge of pride as I look at my daughter, so confident and passionate. The past year hasn't been easy for her, adjusting to a new school, dealing with the fallout of the divorce, but she's emerged stronger and more determined than ever. As we discuss the data, my phone buzzes. It's a news alert about Brad. His company has filed for bankruptcy, his career in shambles after a series of poor decisions and burned bridges. For a moment, I feel a twinge of sadness for the man I once loved, but it passes quickly. We've both made our choices, and I know I made the right one. Everything okay? Mia asks, noticing my distraction. I nod, smiling. Everything's perfect, sweetheart. As the day winds down, we gather on the porch, watching the sun set over the fields. My parents settle into their rocking chairs, while Mia and I lean against the railing. You know, my father says, his voice thoughtful, I was worried when you first told us about your plan. Thought you were taking on too much, risking too much. But seeing all this, he gestures to the thriving farm around us. Your mother is right. The future is bright. Mia grins, nudging me with her shoulder. See, Mom? Grandpa agrees with me. We're going to change the world. one farm at a time. I wrap my arm around her, feeling a sense of contentment I haven't experienced in years. We already are, sweetheart. We already are. As night falls and the first stars appear in the sky, I reflect on the journey that brought us here. The pain of betrayal, the fear of starting over, the challenges of building something new, all of it led to this moment. A moment of peace, of purpose, of family united in a shared vision. Brad's words from that fateful night echo in my mind. You're nothing without me. How wrong he was. I'm everything I was always meant to be, an innovator, a daughter, a mother, a woman standing proudly on her own 2 feet. Looking out over the fields that have been in my family for generations, now transformed by the technology of the future, I feel a sense of completion. This is more than just a business success or a personal triumph. It's a legacy, a bridge between past and future, a testament to the strength that comes from staying true to oneself. As Mia chatters excitedly about her plans for expanding the business, I smile, filled with hope for the future we're building together. The crops around us stand tall and strong, a reflection of our own resilience and growth. This is our rebirth, our new beginning. And it's more beautiful than I ever could have imagined.